Hi guys! Okay, so I am back with another collective tarot reading, and we got 11th house community 49, 26 Neptune vision, 30 Pallas Athena think, and 36 midheaven pinnacle. Okay, so there is something you are birthing. It's like the Neptune card with the vision is extremely like powerful right now. I feel like there could be some dream or something that you are like really kind of getting connected to in your heart. I feel like it's from your heart space that like whatever this thing is or whatever the situation is you want to go for is like really connected to your empowerment in your heart. And there's some type of vision that you are birthing that's coming through really strongly. It's like it's almost like I see you getting to the top of a mountain, right? Midheaven and pinnacle really reminds me of like, okay, you climbed the mountain, you've done so much work. Like, it's almost like you've done so much work just to even like birth this vision. Like, that's what I'm feeling. And you've put a lot of work into whatever this is. And it doesn't have to be actionable work. It almost reminds me of like, it maybe took a lot of healing to be okay with birthing this vision. Some of you haven't birthed this yet and are just in the thought space of like figuring out like, okay, like how am I going to do this? Like, what do I need to start this thing? Like, what am I going to need to be good at? Like, where do I need to learn more? There's like a learning energy coming through. And also with Pallas Athena, I think this was like about getting connected to your power and being able to like transverse like what power is and like what it is not. And so I don't know if you're thinking about what is actual power and what is not power, because sometimes, okay, so we think sometimes as a society power is like having the best job and like being really rich, right? Or like even being competitive. Power can also be seen as something that is like I'm gonna one up you, right? Like that can be seen as power. But I personally am in like a thing where I'm like, that's not power. Like it can be power, and there can be power that's perceived as power, if that makes sense. But like I think that maybe you're looking at like, what is actual power to me? Like, what is power to me, and what does that look like, and how do I step into my own power? When do I feel powerful, and when do I not feel powerful? And whatever it is, whatever this vision that you are birthing, like this card is just like screaming at me. It's like a freaking explosion of whatever this is. It's really beautiful, and I definitely feel like it's heart called, it's empowered. It could have to do with something with community, with putting yourself out there in community. Oh, these hands are really speaking to me. So there's like 3 hands. There's one right there, one right there, one right there. Like it's almost like there's a creation happening with your hands, and you may be collaborating with other people. It also could be that you're collaborating with spirit. Like that also could be, because sometimes collaboration isn't always just seen as like, okay, I'm doing this with another person. It could be an energy, like an energy that you were connecting to. There could be a spirit guide or some type of goddess, I'm hearing, that you could be connecting to in birthing this vision. But I definitely feel like whatever this is massive, and it's the pinnacle. Like it's something that you had to work really hard to even get. Like I feel like you had to clear a lot of doubt, and you possibly are still in this process of clearing doubt, clearing things that need to be released so that you can step into this new space. Because sometimes we have to release things, which is not fun, release things to get to the space we are at. There's another thing coming through about being so uncomfortable. I'm seeing Ten of Swords. So Ten of Swords is a card that talks about we've done something some way for so long that it's not working anymore, that it's almost like the car is not starting anymore. And there's something maybe that you are ending, and here's the thing, endings are painful. Like they're never, I mean, usually they're not. They're never like, oh, this is just so easy, I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. Like, no, you have to like be almost debilitated and into so much discomfort to change something sometimes. Like it just is that way sometimes. We're human. We like to hold on to things, right? So whatever, maybe you're letting go of something that's been really hard to let go of. I just definitely feel like a heaviness of grief, and maybe there was like you had to feel this grief and pain that you were carrying to be even able to be clear enough to birth the vision that you're looking into birthing. And it definitely feels like you had to bring light to this situation. I definitely feel like there's light that needed to be shown on. I'm seeing your heart space, kind of like a light shining on your heart space. Maybe, I'm just getting this, maybe, okay, I'm just gonna give you an example. Let's say your parents were doctors. Let's say that you were meant to be a doctor, right? Like everyone was like, you gotta be a doctor, okay? But then you were like, but I actually wanna be a writer. Like I really don't wanna be a doctor, right? But you've been indoctrinated or have been told this thing for so long, so many times, so many ways, that it's like you had to maybe work through all of that pain and trauma, and even dealing with family members that don't want you to do it, to even get to the point of being a writer. And following your heart can be very hard if no one wants to support you in it, if they all don't see it that way. And I definitely feel like whatever you're doing is off the beaten path, or whatever you want to do is off the beaten path. And I definitely get the feeling of like you had to like release some of these ideas, maybe some patterns, maybe something that was familiar that was supposed to be a certain way. Because I definitely feel like this, like, okay, it has to be this way, it has to be this way, it has to be this way. And this is about getting, like, clearing all of those, like, you know, oh my gosh, what's the word? Expectations, and like, this has to be this way. You had to clear all that out. And of course, like, it's in your own self sometimes. It always is, usually inside yourself somehow, where it's like, okay, I have to be this way, and I should do it this way, and it should be this way, and I have to be that way. And it's like, no, like, this was about not doing that. This was about going off the beaten path. This is about finding a vision that really speaks to your soul, being a writer, or being a singer, or being whatever you want. And because you're being called there, right? You're being called to the space. And I definitely feel like community has something to do with this. Either community helped you get there, or community is going to be important in you getting there, or you're going to be collaborating in an energetic space with people and or guides or energies in general that are going to help you birth this vision. I'm hearing you don't need a team, but you may feel like you need a team and you don't need a team. So like, but like the team sometimes is energetic help. So I'm like getting that feeling that the community could be very important for you right now in helping you anchor in this time and space when you're releasing so much and ending so much. And maybe that's what it's about. It doesn't necessarily have to tie into the project or whatever vision or person even that I'm, you know, it could be a person you're going after. It just depends. Or a relationship, right? There's definitely something about the magician coming through, manifesting and getting really clear on what your manifestation is. And I'm also feeling like underneath the manifestation, there could be a lot of doubt that you're feeling and fear when it comes to this. And that is totally normal. This is about working with the fear and the doubt and realizing that if it is your soul's calling, that it will, the doors will be open for you. And Spirit's saying the doors are open for you in this space where you're looking to go into. So I don't know if you're feeling like, oh my God, like I don't know if I should go after this thing or this person or whatever, this relationship or the situation, whatever it is, right, for you. I don't know if I should go after my vision for what I really want in the future because I don't know if it will work out. Now, Spirit is saying if your soul is calling you there, the doors will open. And it's about being patient with yourself. It's about like loving yourself through the doubts and the fears. And it's about showing up for yourself and being confident. And even when you don't feel confident, showing up anyways. And it's like, it's okay to feel not confident, especially if you haven't done something before. The confidence comes after you do it. Tarot Doc always says that, and I love that because it's so true. Okay, let's see what else is going on. See what else is going on with you guys. This is really big. I'm definitely feeling like this is really big. Okay, let me see. What is this about? Knight of Wands. See there? Okay, so passion. This is like really like passionate energy, like wanting to go after this thing. Like so, it's so calling you. There's a fire that's being lit within you. It's funny because we have loss and sadness. We got 5 of Cups. Hold on, let me just see. King of Wands. 9 of Pentacles. What's the loss and sadness about, Spirit Guides? 3 of Pentacles. Collaborating. That's interesting. Collaborating. Why? Page of Pentacles. What's the opportunity? Oh, okay. I get it. I'm like, what is this? Okay. So, really want to go after something, fight for it, feel a lot of passion and fire for it, right? Then we get to loss and sadness, and it's around the Three of Pentacles. Loss and sadness around the Three of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. Maybe what I'm really feeling with this is that maybe when you have collaborated with people in the past, it has brought you grief. Like, I totally relate to that. I really do. And we have King of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. So this is stepping into really like implementing actionable steps into like your dream and your vision. And what it's bringing is the Knight of Pentacles, which is like one of the best cards to get when you're looking at like birthing a vision or going after a new project or going after whatever it is you want to go after. The King of Wands is the energy that you want to step into, but you have it, right? Like this is just explaining to me, like, you have both these energies. It's just, I think what this is like really getting connected to, okay, I have felt a lot of loss and sadness when I have collaborated before in opportunities, maybe because people were a certain way, or they didn't honor me, or they didn't see my vision, or like there's this energy of like friction and dealing with other people. This could be even family ties that have, I mean, like, I was talking about before, like when I was talking about the doctor and the writer, and wanting to be the doctor, and, you know, wanting to be the writer, and you're supposed to be the doctor, and like everyone's like, oh, you have to be a doctor, and like you really want to be a writer, and it's like that's been painful, right? And I'm not saying it's that, I'm just giving you an example of like where the loss and sadness can come from. And I definitely feel like you could be looking at, okay, why am I doubting myself? Why am I feeling afraid to go after this? What is stopping me, right? And I do feel like there is a deep dive into grief and loss and sadness over collaborating in opportunities with people before. Now, whatever that looks like, it doesn't even have to just be people. It could just be a person, right? Maybe there was somebody that made you feel really bad about yourself. Maybe there was someone that didn't believe in the dream that you wanted, and like made you feel stupid about it. I mean, it really could be anything across the board, but I am saying that you are looking into, how do I heal the loss and sadness over collaborating in opportunities that have not worked out for me before, that have led me down a road where I have been really hurt, and how do I discern on how to keep going even though that's feelings there, but also discern who I'm working with and why. And can you be very selective about who you work with, if you even need to work with anyone at this point, right? But the overall message is that whatever you're going after, it's the Knight of Pentacles, which is like abundance. Like, it literally is an abundant card. It's having things, having resources like that are tangibly there, like that you've grown, and it really shows that like you do have both the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. If I was to say, what are the best energies to have to go after something you want, these are the energies you want. So like, you guys have it. So it's, and again, it's just about trusting that you have it and having confidence in yourself that you have it, because you really do. And whatever you're looking into birthing, like, this is a really good sign, a beautiful sign. And it is about like, okay, what kind of work do I have to put in to make this thing a reality? Because like, I do feel like some of you could have been maybe feeling discouraged. I'm feeling a discouragement over work you may already, some of you maybe already have started this, and you may be feeling discouraged about where it's going because you don't know if it's gonna like grow. I do feel like it's just like moving with the divine timing of things, which really sucks, but like, it is the thing. And kind of like being patient with yourself, and the part of you that gets really activated when you're like, what if this thing doesn't work? Okay, like, have confidence in yourself, have faith in yourself. This thing is meant to work. Oh my God, you guys, I said 10 of Swords. There it is, 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I was like, what's that? Yeah, I do get definitely that you guys had to release something, or are releasing, in the middle of releasing this thing of not doing it a certain way anymore because it just literally isn't working anymore for you, and having to be uncomfortable enough to kind of like change, to really actually be like, okay, I've been doing it this way for so long, like, it's not working. Like, how do I switch it up? And what way do I need to be to switch up in a better way to change my outcome and change my life? Because this really is about changing your life in a meaningful way, in a way that is better suited for you and where you are right now. Because I do feel like a lot of you have changed, right? Like, this, I don't know what it is with astrology, this last year has been extremely intense energetically. Same with last year, but like this year has definitely been intensely energetically, like just a lot. And so I do feel like a lot of us, if not most of us, are there's the moon, are being asked to release something, but because it's not working for us anymore, because it's not giving us what we need anymore, because we have changed so much and grown, I'm hearing grown with the seasons. So you have grown with the seasons, you're continuing to grow. Keep looking at the way you're perceiving things, because I think your perception here is probably so much of this is you're going to be your perception and how you look at yourself and how you think about how you show up for yourself when you're feeling doubt, when you're feeling fear, and when you're feeling discouraged. Can you keep going even when you feel discouraged? And knowing that if you're being called to this, if your soul is being lit up by this thing, then you can get discouraged, but like just keep following the soul's calling that you have, because that is where you will find magic, right? It really is. Anything else, spirit guides? Yeah, there's death, transformation, really going through, you guys are going through a really deep transformation right now. I feel like everyone is kind of at this point, especially if you're doing the work, especially, and I do feel like everyone is doing the work on who watch. I usually, like, if you're watching tarot, you're usually like doing the work. That's like usually how it goes, because it's like, you know, that's what we all talk about, is like healing usually. Yeah, there's a major truth right here too. Okay, so a major truth about a transformation you're going through, having to release and rebirth to something new, because you have to release something that is no longer working for you, and your perception, again, is so important here. So keep perceiving yourself in the most light way you can, and if you're having darkness come up, it's okay. It's just telling you something, and like, what is it telling you? And again, show up for yourself when you're feeling doubt, when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling anxiety, because your heart is calling you a certain way. You're wanting to birth a vision. So just keep going. You got this. I am so proud of you guys. This is massive. And I think that's all I have for you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.